Hello students, today we are going to study general types of recombination. Till now we have studied what are the various ways in which recombination takes place in prokaryotic organisms, especially bacteria. In bacteria, recombination takes place by three different methods: transformation, transduction and conjugation. Okay, and most of the time it occurs by homologous recombination method. So today in general we will discuss about what are the types of recombination. First of all, what is genetic recombination? What is the definition? Recombination is the production of new DNA molecule by breaking and rejoining of two parental DNA molecules or breaking and rejoining of different segments of the same DNA molecule. Okay, what happens in recombination? Two DNA molecule exchange genetic information resulting in the production of a new combination of alleles. Okay, so what is recombination? Breaking and rejoining of two parental DNA molecules or different segments of the same DNA molecules. Right? Herein, two DNA molecules exchange genetic information resulting in the production of a new combination of alleles. There is one more kind of recombination which we called as transposition, which is shown by transposons. It is a highly specialized form of recombination in which a segment of DNA moves from one location to another location, either on the same chromosome or on the different chromosome. All these processes lead to recombination. Okay, so once again, what is recombination? It is the process of formation of new recombinant chromosomes which is observed in eukaryotic organisms, okay, as well as in prokaryotic organisms. So recombination is a process of formation of new recombinant chromosome by combining the genetic material from two organisms, okay. So the genetic material from two organisms can combine or it can be from the same organism also and form a new recombinant chromosome. The new recombinants show changes in the phenotypic characters that are expressed externally. Okay. So the new recombinants show changes even in the phenotypic characters. This recombination process, what is the advantage? It creates genetic diversity at the level of genes. It creates genetic diversity at the level of genes that reflects differences in the DNA sequence of different organisms. Okay. So recombination creates new genetic diversity and new genetic recombinations, right? Now how it takes place? What are the general types by which recombination takes place? So types along with the examples. Okay, so types of recombination. At least 4 types of naturally occurring recombinations have been identified in living organisms. Number 1. Okay, so 4 different types have been observed. Number 1, general or homologous recombination. Okay, what is number 1? General or homologous recombination. Homologous recombination occurs between DNA molecules having very similar sequences. Okay, say for example that we observed in transformation or transduction and so and so. Okay, so general or homologous recombination occurs between DNA molecules of very similar sequence, such as homologous chromosomes in diploid organism. Okay, homologous recombination also takes place in bacteria during the process of transformation. Right? So homologous recombination occurs between DNA which have almost similar sequences. Right? General recombination can occur throughout the genome of a diploid chromosome using one of a small number of common enzymatic pathways. So general recombination or homologous recombination occurs between DNA molecules having almost similar sequences. Similar means homologous sequences. So there is exchange of genetic information or exchange of DNA fragments between two homologous chromosomes or having almost similar sequence. Right. The second type is non-homologous or illegitimate recombination. Right. Non-homologous or illegitimate recombination occurs in region where no large scale sequence similarity is apparent. Okay. Or non-homologous recombination occurs in regions where the segment of DNA are not having exact somewhat similar sequences. Okay, so this large scale sequence similarity is absent, and in that region if recombination occur, we call it illegitimate or non-homologous recombination. Say for example, we have studied transposons. What do we find? Okay, a segment of gene locates itself at some other different site. So where there is no homology, right, it cuts itself from one point and gets integrated at another point. Again, illegitimate type. For example, translocation between different chromosomes or deletion that removes several genes along a chromosome. Okay, so from one point it gets translocated and gets integrated at some other point. Non-homologous recombination. However, when the DNA sequence at the breakpoint of these events is analyzed, short regions of sequence similarity are found in some cases, but illegitimate or non-homologous recombination occurs in regions where there is almost no sequence similarity. Now the third type is site-specific recombination. See, site-specific recombination means what? There is integration of a new DNA or a foreign DNA at a particular site, that is called as site-specific recombination. Say for example, we have studied specialized transduction. I have explained you specialized transduction. What happens in specialized transduction with respect to lambda phage and E. coli chromosome, we have discussed it. Okay, the lambda DNA, when a lambda phage infects E. coli, lambda phage is a temperate phage. It exists as a prophage in E. coli. So when lambda phage integrates its DNA inside the cytoplasm of E. coli, the lambda DNA gets integrated inside the chromosomal DNA of E. coli. But where does it get integrated? There is an attachment site on lambda DNA. There is an attachment site on E. coli chromosomal DNA. Okay, they attach each other with the help of attachment site, and lambda DNA gets integrated into E. coli chromosome between galactose gene and biotin gene. That is the particular point where lambda DNA integrates itself inside E. coli chromosome. That is called as site-specific recombination. Okay, so site-specific recombination occurs between particular short sequences, say about 12 to 24 base pairs, present on otherwise dissimilar parental molecule. See, lambda DNA is a different molecule, and E. coli chromosomal DNA is a different molecule. So lambda DNA, which is having a totally different sequence, is getting integrated inside E. coli chromosomal DNA. So no, both of them are dissimilar parents, dissimilar DNA molecules, but still it is getting integrated, but at one particular point. That is called as site-specific recombination. Site-specific recombination requires special enzymatic machinery, basically one enzyme or an enzyme system for each particular site. The best example is integration of some bacteriophages such as lambda into the bacterial chromosome. It is an example of site-specific recombination, but it requires special type of enzymes. Okay. So the last type of recombination is replicative recombination. Replicative recombination means what? Here, the DNA that is going to be integrated somewhere produces a new copy. Okay, replicative recombination which generates a new copy of segment of DNA. And the newly formed copy of the DNA integrates itself. Say for example, we have studied replicative recombination of transposons, right? So many transposable elements. Replicative recombination generates a new copy of segment of DNA, right? Many transposable elements use a process of replicative recombination and generate a new copy of transposable element, and the new copy of the transposable element is integrated at new location. Okay, so replicative recombination has been found in transposable elements or transposons. They replicate or they produce a new copy of the transposable element, and the newly formed copy goes and integrates at a new location. That is called as replicative recombination. Okay, so how many types? General or homologous recombination. Number 2, illegitimate or non-homologous recombination, where there is no homology between the segments wherein the DNA is getting exchanged. Number 3, site-specific recombination, where the two different molecules, there are two different DNA. One DNA gets integrated inside another DNA at a specific site. Say for example, integration of lambda DNA into E. coli chromosome. And number 4, replicative recombination, wherein a new copy of a DNA is formed and the new copy of the DNA that is formed gets integrated at some other site. That is called as replicative recombination. The most commonly occurring is the homologous recombination, which takes place, which has been extensively studied in E. coli. Now we have discussed the 4 types. So let us understand it with the help of suitable diagrams. Look at the first one, that is general or homologous recombination, right? General or homologous recombination. Here you can see 2 DNA fragments, right? You can see one DNA, another, 2 DNA strands, right? A plus gene on, see the upper strand, A plus gene, B plus gene and C plus gene, right? A minus, B minus, C minus. 2 strands are having almost homologous. Now a crossing over takes place between the 2 strands and exchange of genes take place. You can see the first strand, which has now the genes from the second strand, that is B minus and C minus, and the second strand that is having genes from the first strand, that is A minus. Is that clear? So the recombination has taken place, crossing over has taken place, and genes from one strand has been transferred into another strand, leading to recombination. So both the newly formed strands are now the recombinant strands, but the genes were somewhat homologous. So the recombination is called as homologous recombination. Now let us look at the second type, which is called as non-homologous or illegitimate recombination. You can see. So the genes non-homologous, why? Because look at this first strand, there is A gene, there is B gene and there is C gene. Okay. Now on the other strand, 3 different genes are present. So there is no sequence homology between the 2 strands in which the crossing over or exchange of genetic information is taking place. So exchange of genetic information takes place, and now you can see the newly formed recombinant strands. In one there was ABC, so now it is ABF, and another it was DEF, so it is now DEC. So genetic information or genes have been exchanged between the 2 strands, though the 2 strands were not having any kind of homologous sequence. Still genetic exchange has taken place. This is called as non-homologous or illegitimate recombination. Now look at the third type, which is site-specific recombination. Okay. Here you can see that in the site-specific recombination, you can see that there is lambda DNA. Okay, this is lambda DNA having attachment site. This is E. coli DNA having attachment site. Now there is crossing over that is taking place between the attachment site of lambda DNA and E. coli DNA. Okay, so crossing over is taking place between the attachment site of lambda DNA and E. coli DNA. And in the second, you can see that the lambda DNA is integrated inside E. coli DNA. Okay, here lambda DNA is integrated inside E. coli DNA and a new DNA has been formed having additional gene. So this is a recombinant E. coli DNA. This is recombinant E. coli DNA which has occurred. Okay, the recombination has taken place by site specific integration of lambda DNA into E. coli DNA. Now look at the last one. Look at the last one, that is replicative recombination. Look at the last one, replicative recombination. Now we can see a transposable element here shown in red color, right? The transposable element has produced a copy of itself. The transposable element is present between gene A and gene B. The transposable element has produced a copy of itself. That means replication of the DNA has taken place. Replication of the transposable element has taken place. And now you can see in the second diagram, by the action of enzyme transposase, the newly formed copy of transposon or transposable element has been integrated between gene B and C. Okay, so we can see here replication of or replicative recombination where the transposable element has duplicated itself and the newly formed copy has been integrated between B and C. This is called as replicative recombination. Okay, so the four general types of recombination are homologous or general recombination, non-homologous or illegitimate recombination which takes place between non-homologous region of the DNA, site-specific recombination wherein a foreign DNA fragment or one DNA gets integrated into another at a specific site leading to recombination. Replicative recombination, which is specially observed in transposons, wherein a transposon replicates itself or produces a new copy of itself and the copy gets integrated at some other site leading to recombination. So these are the four general types of recombination. Now homologous recombination. Okay, it is a physical phenomena where exchange of sequence occurs with no net gain or no loss of nucleotides. Okay, in case of homologous recombination, it's a physical phenomena where exchange of genetic elements takes place, or you can say exchange of DNA take place, but there is no net gain or no net loss of nucleotides, right? It is based on sequence complementarity. It is based on sequence complementarity. It occurs between sequences that are nearly identical. Okay, homologous recombination occurs between DNA sequences that are nearly identical, almost identical. And homologous recombination has been extensively studied in E. coli, and at least 25 proteins are involved in the homologous recombination in E. coli. Now, there are two models by which homologous recombination can be explained. Number one, Holiday model, named after the name of the scientist who studied it. And the number two, the double-stranded break repair model. Okay, there are two models by which homologous recombination can be explained. Number one, Holiday model, and number two, double-strand break repair model. Okay, so now Holiday model of recombination. Herein, there is a pairing between, or there is a pairing in which homologous duplexes align themselves. That means the duplex DNA, the two strands of the DNA are homologous. The two duplexes are almost homologous, right? And there is single strand invasion. That means out of the two strands of the DNA, the enzyme endonuclease nick or cut on one of the two strands, the endonuclease, or it is a method wherein there is single strand invasion. Why? Because out of the two strands of the DNA duplex, the endonuclease enzyme nick or cut only one strand. Okay, so endonuclease nicks at corresponding region of same strand of homologous chromosome. Now the ends that are generated by the nick means cut. The ends that are generated by the nick or cut invade each other and form homologous duplex. Okay. Now the enzyme ligase seals the nick or the gap to form a joint molecule. See now, first there are two duplexes, homologous, enzyme cleaves only one of the strand out of the two. Then the two strands invade each other and form a homologous duplex, right? And the gaps that were formed because of nicking are sealed by the enzyme ligase, and a joint molecule is formed. That joint molecule is having a chi structure. It was shown by Holiday, and hence it is known as Holiday intermediate or Holiday junction. Then the branches migrate, expand, and heteroduplexes are formed. Okay, so this whole Holiday model we will discuss in the next class.